Hi, my name is Linda Murray, and the purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to make a Kahoot game that can be used in your class for students of all ages. The standard I will be using to help demonstrate this screencast video is for the second grade English Language Arts standard regarding craft and structure. The goal by the end of this Kahoot is that my students will be able to describe the overall structure of a story, including describing how the beginning introduces the story and the ending concludes the action. So, I'm going to begin by showing you some questions I have come up with for my Kahoot game. So the first question I have here shows which option given to begin a story is incorrect. So if you look at all the choices I have given, you can begin a story with onomatopoeia, and you can begin with dialogue, and you can begin with some form of action. So all these three are correct, and we are looking for the answer that is incorrect. So the incorrect one is the one that I have with the green check. It says beginning with something that doesn't capture your reader's attention. So it's very important that my students understand that when they are writing their own stories, they need to capture their reader's attention. And that is why I have included this question, because it emphasizes that for them. And I have given 30 seconds for this question to be answered, but I can give anywhere from 5 seconds to 240 seconds, but I think 30 seconds is enough for this question. The second question I have is what is theme in a story? And if you look at this question as to the previous question had 4 options for the answer, whereas the second one, I only have 3, and so I have given only 20 seconds for this question instead of 30. And so some options I have given is, so what is the theme of the story? I put, it could be a title of a story, or it could be another word used to refer to like the rising action, or it could be the big idea of the story. And this answer is the correct answer, and it has the green check mark again. Another form of question that you could have in a Kahoot is true or false, such as this example that I have here. And so my question says, true or false, the exposition is also known as the end of the story. And I have that answer marked as false because the exposition is the beginning of a story. The fourth question I have is what is the plot of a story? And so some options I gave for the answers were the part after the following action, which is incorrect, the events that make up the story, which is correct because this is what the definition of plot is, or the part before the rising action, which is also incorrect, which is why the blue box has the green check mark to show that this is the correct answer. And I gave another 20 seconds for this question. The fifth question I have is another true or false one, and it says true or false. The climax is also known as the middle of the story, and that is true, which is why the blue box for true has the green check mark, and I have also given 20 seconds to answer this question. The sixth question I have, I gave 30 seconds because it has 4 options instead of 2 or 3. So I gave my students a little bit more time to be able to answer that question. So the question says, what is the rising action in a story? And the first option I have given is the correct answer. The rising action is like the events leading up to the main problem in the story. So this is the correct answer. Number 7, I also gave 30 seconds because this question is kind of long. Even though it has 3 options for answers, I think 30 seconds is still a good amount of time for my students to be able to read the entire question and think about the answer. So which of the following is an example of the setting of a story? And so setting is where the story takes place. So could a story take place with Sarah's friend? That's not really setting. Eating Oreos while standing, a story can't really take place there, but a story could take place at a Costco store in Michigan. So this gives a location, which is a good example of where a story could take place, and so that is the correct answer. For number 8, I have what does the ending of a story not do? So this is like a negative type question. And so The ending of a story does all of these three things. It concludes an action, it shows what the characters have learned, and it shows how the characters feel now at the end of the story. But what it doesn't do is reintroduce the characters. And so what does the story not do? It doesn't reintroduce the characters, and so this is the correct answer. The 9th question I have is, which of the following is not labeled correctly in the plot diagram? And so this is kind of a trick question, because in this plot diagram, they are all labeled correctly. And so none of these answers are correct. And this last green answer says they are all labeled correctly is in fact the correct answer. Now I'm going to show you an example of adding a quiz type question. The question I'm going to add is, which of the following can be used as characters in a story? And so I think I'm going to give this question 20 seconds. I'll leave it at 20. People could be characters in a story. And I think I'm actually going to make this question a trick question. I'm going to put animals, insects, or objects. Whoops. And all of these answers are correct. So I'm going to check off all of them just as a fun last question. And I can also preview all the questions I've come up with. I can make sure they all look correct. And when I'm satisfied with that, I can exit. And I can click Done. Now that I'm all done, I can play the game. Classic. Or you can do team, but I'm going to just show you how I'd run the classic version. So when this is done loading, your students can go on to kahoot.it and they can put in this game pin and they can put their username and they can join the class. And whenever I'm ready, I can click start and start the game. Thank you for listening to my screencast video. And that is how you can create a Kahoot to use in your classroom.